you know, you stole the show. You know, I know it's, you know, you're the main event. You're supposed to, but you delivered.
Right.
And you after it. Said, you know, knock, knock, Tank.
Yeah.
I'm knocking on the door. You came over here, said light skin. A lot of fight fans like when people call out and do things like that.
But only person that don't like it is him. He's kind of weird. But now he got no choice but to fight me. The fans want him to fight me. After what I just did tonight against a guy that's bigger than him, come on now. If I touch him, what's gonna happen? Talk about that. Everybody want to talk about, oh, Keyshawn, what if he touch you? What if I touch him? Yeah, okay.
Keyshawn Davis went berserk on Gervonta Tank Davis and called him out for ducking a fight against him.
I mean, you caught Tank's radar right there. I mean, you feel...
he said I'm not worth mentioning, but can Frank Martin sell 10,000 tickets? Can Lamont Roach sell 10,000 tickets? A lot of these people got something to say, but let's fight. I'm a B word though. Let's fight.
2020 Summer Olympics silver medalist Keyshawn Davis is slated to lock horns with Gustavo Lemos on the 8th of November at the Scope Arena in his hometown of Norfolk. In the meantime, the 25-year-old undefeated boxer has found a unique way to create buzz about his upcoming bout, talk trash to the biggest name in his division, Gervonta Davis.
Everybody want me to ask this, Key. Are you gonna stop Tank Davis? They want to see you and Tank Davis. I gotta be honest.
What?
Davis versus Davis. Want to see that, bro?
Man, that's up to Tank. Dude, Tank want to see it for himself.
Yeah, I mean,
I send anybody a contract, nigga, they gonna sign this shit. Come on, bro.
Of course, I'm signing it.
Bro, outside the bread, bro, like outside the bread and the potential money that can be made, bro, like. Bro, I will fight that nigga, cuz, and I'm coming with that same energy he coming with. He can't do all them shenanigans and all that shit that he be doing with other people. He can't do that shit with me.
Keyshawn said that Tank and his team were worried about the challenge. He said he can't do all them shenanigans and all that shit he be doing with other people. He can't do that shit with me. Yes, I'm ready for that. He can't f with me, bro. Him and his coach know that. The bald-headed dude told me, just don't call Tank out for the rest of the year. Them niggas is worried. Keyshawn alleged that Coach Kenny Ellis had asked him not to call out Tank for the rest of the year, adding, they want me to move to 140 to get out of 135 so I can be too big and don't gotta fight them no more. Keyshawn claimed he will remain in the division until he gets his fight against Davis.
Oh, hold on, OG, what you mean don't call him out? What you mean? Them niggas is worried. Niggas is worried. They want me to move to 140 to get out 35, so I could be too big. I don't gotta fight them no more. No, nigga, I'm staying at 35, and I'm be there until you ready to fight me, nigga.
Ooh, yo, Key, I love the smoke you on, boy. I ain't even gonna lie. This is what makes this shit exciting when niggas is getting here talking like this talk and delivering in that ring.
However, Davis doesn't even consider Keyshawn worth mentioning, something he revealed in a now deleted tweet responding to Davis's interview. Davis wrote, "Stop eating, do that and this. Little nigga fighting on Friday night. He's not even worth mentioning. And buddy a cold bitch. Tell him do something." In another deleted tweet, Tank maintained his attacks, writing, "I'm calling you a bitch now. You and y'all your brothers bitch. Now do something." This seemed to provoke Keyshawn Davis to go on an absolute rampage on X, responding to Davis's tweet. The businessman wrote, "Blah blah blah, send me a contract, you Oompa Loompa." In another tweet, Davis wrote, "Hope his soft don't retire before it happens. It's only one person who can take his spot." If naming himself Gervonta Davis's replacement as the face of boxing wasn't enough, Keyshawn implied it would only take 4 to 5 rounds for him to beat Tank. He wrote, "Let me get up 4 to 5 rounds straight on your ass and watch what I do to you, Gervonta." It's not the first time that Keyshawn has called out Tank Davis. Some time ago, when asked who he prefers to fight, Keyshawn simply stated Tank's name.
Really just a world title at this point, man. I done did a lot already in the sport, you know, went to the Olympics, you know, knocking guys out, be the former world champion. I did a lot when I'm 10-0. That's why a lot of people is watching me right now. So at this point, I need a world title to really solidify the businessman.
Who'd you prefer at this point?
I would prefer Tank Davis, the top guy. I would go for the top guy. If I could choose, I would choose Tank Davis.
I just got goosebumps, bro, during that call out. That's a great fight.
That shit ain't nothing.
How did you see that fight going?
I would knock Tank's short ass out.
Damn.
Like, Tank, you know, Tank is a great fighter. Hats off to Tank. I'm not even about to just do all that. Like, Tank is a great fighter, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody knows that he got the power, he got the skill and ability, he's patient, you know what I'm saying? But I know who I am. That little short motherfucker can't touch me. And I'm coming with that same shit he coming with, and he know that. His coach Kenny, you know, got a lot to say. You know what I'm saying? Talks to go fight the nigga from Cuba. No, nigga, I'm gonna fight Tank. Stop mentioning other people when I mention your fighter. What you talking about, boy? Like, don't play with me, bro. Y'all know how I'm coming. Tank, if you wanna fight, send me a contract, bro. Tank, you know.
All right, Keyshawn, man, you're fired up. I could tell you're in the middle of a weight cut. You ready to go? There we go. Keyshawn Davis, a businessman, taking care of business Saturday night. Thank you, brother.
Knocking them out. Hey, tune in, man. ESPN, we gotta go up, man. Shout out to Kelvin Davis. Kelvin also fighting on ESPN Plus. He fighting Kevin Johnson.
When asked how he sees the fight playing out, Keyshawn said he would easily knock out Davis. Keyshawn stated, "I would knock Tank's short ass out. Tank is a great fighter. Hats off to Tank. Everybody knows he's got the power, the skill, he's patient, but I know who I am. That little short mother can't touch me. I'm coming with that same he coming with, and he know that. If you want to fight, send me a contract, bro." While it's unlikely he will land a fight against Davis anytime soon, he has other ambitions, which if he accomplishes, could see him stand shoulder to shoulder with Tank. During his press conference for the fight in Norfolk the other day, Davis, ranked number 3 by IBF, WBC, and WBO, revealed his intentions behind fighting Gustavo Lemos, who is ranked number 6th on IBF, number 9th by WBC, and number 13th by WBO. Keyshawn said, "I feel like I'm ready for any opponent at 135, whether it's the number 1 or the number 8 or whatever. I feel like I'm ready for anything. After this fight, when I get a spectacular win, I'm going for the world title." Among the elite fighters in the 135-pound division, and his words reflect the confidence that drives his ambition. Keyshawn further added, "I'm here to make great fights, and I'm proving it. I handpicked a tough fight for my homecoming. Every time y'all see me fight, y'all are gonna love to see me fight." Meanwhile, Lemos is looking to bounce back from his last loss against IBF super lightweight number 1 contender Richardson Hitchens. Regardless, Davis feels Lemos is just another obstacle he has to knock down to become a world champ by next year.
I came to work hard. I have nothing else to say than that it's going to be a beautiful fight.
It's gonna be blood everywhere. His nose might be a little lopsided. Tell him.
Dice que no va a ser una linda pelea, va a haber sangre y que te va a romper la nariz.
But I respect you, Gustavo. You're an amazing fighter.
Te respeto, Gustavo, eres un peleador
I
tremendo.
appreciate you for taking the fight in my hometown.
Muchas gracias por aceptar la pelea.
What's happening here? What is this, the
natal.
dating game?
We'll get you right in the middle of these guys.
This is our main event. Keyshawn Davis, the businessman, and Gustavo El Electrico Lemos. Mayor, you can stand right there in the middle. Boys, keep it classy. The mayor is with you.
Coming to Tank's future endeavors is gearing up to clash with WBA super featherweight kingpin Lamont Roach early next year. Coach Stephen Edwards says he doesn't agree that the Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach fight is a cherry pick, as many people do about their clash on December 14th. He said, "I don't feel it's a cherry pick because I thought they were going to fight in their hometowns because they live in DC and Baltimore. I think they think it's a cherry pick because of how highly they think of Tank." He further added, "They look at Tank like he should be fighting Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney, and Shakur Stevenson. He hasn't fought those guys yet, so they think of him so highly that anything less than that is going to look like a cherry pick. I don't think he can beat Tank," but commentator Tim Bradley blasted Gervonta Davis for facing yet another soft opponent, Lamont Roach. He said, "Before Shakur signed to fight Joe Cordina, that was the perfect time for him to negotiate with Shakur. It seems to me, and this isn't just me hating, this is factual. Tell me the last true A-Dog where he tanked Davis, didn't suck him down in weight so he can have an advantage, saying he's too big and this and that like he did with Ryan Garcia. Who was the last? That was years ago. It was Jose Pedraza, and that was years ago, 2017. Since then, who else? Frank Martin. He's green. To me, you're like a 30-year-old prospect dog." Bradley points out that PBC has created a great product, building Tank to make him look great with their skillful matchmaking, but he sees it as fake. He wonders what they are afraid of by choosing not to match the Baltimore native Tank Davis against good opposition like Shakur Stevenson. He said, "Fight the best, fight Shakur." Oh, he tried to fight Lomachenko, but Loma didn't want that smoke. He retired Loma. You could have fought that 5 or 6 years ago, but you were in protective custody. PBC protective custody. They built a hell of a product, Tank Davis. Paulie Malignaggi, the former world champion and boxing commentator, recently shared his thoughts on Gervonta Tank Davis and Lamont Roach. While Malignaggi acknowledges Roach's technical skills and championship-level talent, he feels that Roach doesn't bring enough excitement or a compelling personality to make for a pay-per-view worthy opponent for Davis. He emphasizes that Davis, a bona fide pay-per-view star, needs to face an opponent who can either produce explosive performances or have the kind of larger-than-life persona that drives ticket sales and pay-per-view buys. He stated, "Lamont Roach is a good fighter. He's technically sound. He's a championship-level fighter," Malignaggi says, but then adds that the lack of a wow factor is what makes a fight between Roach and Davis less appealing for the big stage. Despite being solid, Roach hasn't produced enough high-level wins or controversial moments to make him a draw for a major pay-per-view event, especially when compared to fighters who can offer more action or a larger-than-life narrative. Malignaggi goes on to discuss the pay-per-view model, pointing out that while Davis has been a regular feature on pay-per-view for some time, the issue lies in the selection of opponents. He believes that many of Davis's fights have not featured the right kind of competition to justify the price tag. He further added, "Davis is a bona fide pay-per-view star. Whether you agree that so many of his fights should have been on pay-per-view, and I disagreed with most of them, he's been established on pay-per-view for a while now. What's been lacking is the proper opposition necessary to charge those kinds of fees." Turning his attention to Roach's career, Malignaggi points out that while Roach has had success in the super featherweight division, it's taken him a while to get to where he is, and even then, his title defense against Feargal McCrory didn't stand out as a major achievement. Malignaggi analyzed, "He's had success at super featherweight, but it's taken him a while to do so. If he'd made numerous title defenses, a fight between him and Davis might make more sense, but he's made one against Feargal McCrory."
That's what I'm looking for. Looking most forward to, like, just shutting everybody up, the critics, the doubters, the haters, all them people who don't believe that I don't got a shot. It don't even be people that I can't win. People believe that I don't got a shot.
Malignaggi contrasts Roach's resume with the kind of competition Davis has faced before, like Hector Luis Garcia, who after being stopped by Davis has only suffered a split decision loss to Roach. This comparison helps underline Malignaggi's point. We've seen Davis in this sort of fight before, such as against Hector Luis Garcia, who since being stopped by Davis has only lost a split decision to Roach. Malignaggi concludes by reflecting on the future of the lightweight division, particularly the anticipated Davis-Stevenson showdown. Despite the excitement surrounding the potential fight, Malignaggi remains skeptical given the promotional and network differences between Davis and Stevenson. "I don't believe Stevenson-Davis will happen in 2025, and while I expect Stevenson-Zepeda to take place, it will be late in the year instead of early, as we've also been told." Malignaggi is clear in his belief that Stevenson is the best pure boxer in the sport today. He said, "He is the best pure boxer in the sport. Nobody can touch him, nobody can beat him, including elite levels guys." Malignaggi believes that Shakur would beat Gervonta Davis and make it look relatively easy. Shakur Stevenson would beat Gervonta Davis and make it look pretty easy. Davis's power is always a wild card, but Shakur Stevenson is way too good. Shakur was set to face Joe Cordina on the undercard of the Bivol Beterbiev event. However, Stevenson suffered a hand injury that required immediate surgery, forcing him to withdraw from his scheduled title defense against Cordina. Many in the boxing world want the mega fight between Shakur Stevenson and Gervonta Davis. Coach Kerry Wade believes that a fight between Gervonta Davis and Shakur Stevenson is simply too significant to overlook. He feels that this matchup is inevitable, and if it does take place, he is confident that Davis, known as Tank, will come out on top. Wade predicts that Tank's power and skill will ultimately prove too much for Stevenson in a potential showdown.
You know, I hate to say it won't happen. I feel like that's too big of a fight for it not to happen. I think the length of the time of when that fight happens helps determine the outcome of that fight. If I had to pick someone today, but of course I would pick Gervonta Davis, and the main reason because he has everything there is, including experience. Shakur Stevenson is extremely talented as well and very gifted. It's not going to be an easy fight for either guy, but if I had to pick one guy today, it'd be Gervonta Davis.
George Kambosos Jr., the former lightweight champion, is crystal clear about who he believes would win in a fight between Davis and Stevenson. He has no doubts that Tank would come out on top, and in fact, Kambosos is so confident in Davis's abilities that he is willing to bet a large sum of money on the outcome. He said, "I'll bet $1 million he knocks Shakur's buck teeth out cold. Won't happen though, Shakur just talks. Maybe if it's 5-on-1 like his little street fight." On the flip side, Claressa Shields, one of the greatest female boxers of all time, stands firmly behind Shakur Stevenson. Shields, who has a keen understanding of boxing, believes Stevenson is the best fighter in the world at the moment, regardless of weight class. She said, "Shakur is the best. To me, he's better than Tank, better than Devin, better than Ryan Garcia. He's better than Teofimo. Shakur is my #1 when it comes to those weight classes. He is me." Shields took it further, stating that Stevenson's resume and the challenges he has faced on his way to lightweight set him apart from Davis. Shields further added, "I'm not gonna ever dismiss a fighter. I think Tank got some great skills and hard punches. He's so explosive, but so is Shakur. Shakur has, for me, faced harder challenges than Tank." Shields then pointed out that Davis's victories over Ryan Garcia and Rolando Romero are not as impressive when compared to the challenges Stevenson has overcome. Shields concluded, "Tank cannot say he's the best if he knocked out Ryan and Raleigh. Who the f is a Raleigh and who the FK is a Ryan? Those guys would never get in the ring with Shakur. People say it only takes one. You're right, but when you're only getting hit 5 or 6%, I'm just rocking with Shakur for that fight, and he's gonna be smart. Shakur's strong too. He's fast too. When he's got something to prove, he fights to a higher level." One fighter who sees this as a very close matchup is Jaron Boots Ennis, one of the top rising stars in the welterweight division. Ennis was asked how a potential fight between Davis and Stevenson might play out, and like many, found it a tough one to call. "That's a great fight, you know, I think that's 50-50, two great guys, two sharp guys. That's a great fight. I really think it's 50-50, they both great fighters. We're not gonna know till they get in the ring. That's a great match. Shakur is sharp, he knows how to box, he's technical. Tank, he's sharp, he can box, he's got power, he can do everything. I think that's gonna be a sharp type of fight." Former light heavyweight world champion Antonio Tarver gave his backing to Davis in the fight, but acknowledged that Stevenson would be tested like never before. Tarver explained, "That's a tough fight, man. It's a chess match to say the least. You got power, you got technique, you got a guy that got some of the best feet in the game, and you got a guy like Gervonta whose energy is unmatched in the ring." Tarver went on to say that despite Stevenson's defensive abilities, he doesn't think Shakur would be able to avoid Tank's power for the entire fight. He further added, "When I look at that fight, I don't see Shakur moving enough to avoid Tank Davis all night. I think Tank's IQ in the ring will allow him to cut the ring off and get to Shakur. Unless Shakur is on his bicycle, but I don't think he'll make a fight like that and just run all night. I think he'll be forced to fight and probably show a Shakur Stevenson that none of us thought he could be in a fight like that." Jarrett Hurd believes that while Tank's power is formidable in the 135-pound division, there are fighters who could potentially withstand it. He specifically mentions Vasyl Lomachenko and Shakur Stevenson as examples of fighters who might be able to handle Tank's explosiveness. However, Hurd also stresses that no one in the division is truly safe from Tank's incredible punching power, making him a dangerous opponent for anyone.
Anybody take that power at 135, in your opinion?
Hell no. Hell no, man. If you look back on PBC, where everybody's hitting that punch machine, Deontay Wilder, Eddie Reed, all of them. Tank got the highest rate for a reason. Your man got bricks.
Abel Sanchez, the respected trainer who worked with Gennady Golovkin, also believes that Davis would come out on top in a tournament involving the best fighters at 135 and 140 pounds. When asked to predict how such a tournament would turn out, Sanchez was unequivocal in his assessment. Matias and Gervonta are in the final. Shakur doesn't have the pop that Davis has. He doesn't have the pop that Matias has. He went on to praise Davis's unique style, saying, "I think Tank has what I would love to have in all my fighters. He's got a Roberto Duran rage in my opinion. None of these other guys have that. Yes, he's a little short, but when you've got that Duran rage, he wants to hurt you." Sanchez highlighted that Davis's mentality in the ring is what sets him apart, especially against opponents who might be technically gifted but lack the same hunger. Sanchez concluded, "The other guys, they don't have that rage, and I think that's very important in a fighter. Jorge Linares, a veteran of the lightweight division, is another former fighter who believes that Davis would stop Stevenson in a potential fight. Linares stated, "If Gervonta is fighting with Shakur Stevenson, it's more of an easy fight. I like Shakur, but he has so many crazy things right now. For me, it's more exciting to see Lomachenko with Gervonta." He further elaborated on his belief that Davis would have his way with Stevenson, regardless of the outcome. With Shakur, Davis can do whatever he wants to do. Maybe decision, maybe KO. If that fight with Shakur can happen, I think Gervonta can kill this guy. Robert Garcia, a legendary trainer who works with some of boxing's top talents, is another who has immense faith in Davis. Garcia, who currently trains pound-for-pound star Jesse Bam, believes that Davis is simply unbeatable at the lightweight division. Garcia said, "He's unbelievable, man. I think Tank at this point is unbeatable at the lightweight division against any of the world champions. I think he's the top guy right now in that division. He had a great performance. He has the timing, power, accuracy. Everything is great, man. He's a perfect fighter right now." Oscar De La Hoya also weighed in on the debate. De La Hoya, who knows a thing or two about the sport's top fighters, believes that Stevenson is currently the best boxer in the world. Despite some criticism of Stevenson's style, De La Hoya praised Shakur's skills, calling him the best fighter on the planet today. He continued, "Tremendous skills, but he has to be able to sell tickets," acknowledging that while Stevenson has the talent, he still needs to build a bigger profile outside of the ring. Teddy Atlas believes that Gervonta Tank Davis is the only fighter capable of figuring out Shakur Stevenson's defensive style. According to Atlas, Tank's unique ability to break down opponents makes him the one fighter who can successfully navigate Stevenson's defense and find a way to land significant punches.
Because Shakur Stevenson is that difficult because of his style, because of his abilities, because of his eyes, because of his, his legs, that his hand speed, the way that he controls range. Tank Davis is the only guy that I can see that could possibly decipher that style and beat Shakur Stevenson.
So what are your thoughts about this situation? Do let us know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of our other videos on the screen right now.